Alright, so we're back again for part 2. In this one, we're just going to be creating the general layout of an interior. So I'm here in the same spot, the same cell that we were in the last video, but I just removed all the objects because it was just a mess. But we're basically going to be using all the stuff we learned from the last video to create a full-on area, a cell. So we're going to go over to the object window, and the type of cell we're going to be working with is HIT, H-I-T. This means high-tech. It's the style of the architecture, basically. So we're going to sort by editor ID and sort by form type, so everything's in order. We'll scroll down to where it says stat. We're going to just keep on scrolling. I want to work with hit LGR in. So let's type that in as well. This is so you know what it means. High tech and then large room. LGRN. This, we gotta do the sorting again. This here is really gonna narrow it down, so we only work with what we want to work with. First things first. Make sure you have your cell open from here, your cell view. And this cell we're making here, you can either follow along exactly what I'm doing or do your own kind of thing. I don't know. But this will just give you lots of practice on what we're doing here. So make sure you have your snap to grids enabled. We're going to go to hit LGR and BOT, bottom. The reason for this, if we drag it over, is because LGR room means it's can be like 3 levels or more. Otherwise, hit SM would be a small room. For example, if I went in here, you can make it pile up. Notice how it's a pretty tall room now. But right now we're just going to work with the bottom floor. So this is your default wall. Make sure you move it at least once so that it can snap to the grid. Otherwise it'll be free floating. I'm going to premise that this cell that we're working on here is going to be in the next mod. So this is actually something I'm going to be using. So we have our wall. Let's duplicate it, move it over on a plane. The plane that makes sense, it's a wall. With holding C right there. So now it's twice this length. Let's add in a corner. We want corner in. There's 2 different versions. Corner in is, like this. Corner out is the opposite. Ignore my dog in the background. And everything just snaps together. It's really nice and easy to work with. But we're just working with this right here. So I just noticed I have mid select. I need to be in the bottom. Get rid of that. Corner it. And then line it up. And it just makes sense. Alright. So I'm going to put a door right here. Or the socket of what would be a door. For this, I'm going to take this object here, duplicate it, move it, rotate it 90 degrees, attach it to the wall. And to put a door here, I'm going to make sure I have it selected, and then hit Control F. This will bring up the search and replace. So don't bother with the top one, you don't want to move it. We're just going to do the replace with. And I'm going to do wall exit small. This is just a single width door instead of a double sized door. This is double sized, this is small. And hit OK. Suddenly, door. It's fun. Next. And yes, it's all just random creation. Kind of just make it up as I go. Whatever I feel like doing. Remember, everything's on a plane now. We can just take objects instead of bringing in new ones. And we can just easily select multiple objects by holding Control and clicking on them. And then duplicate them, Control D. And we're getting somewhere. We got this room going on here. Now, I'm looking at this, and this seems too basic. It's like a square, or this rectangular wall. I'm not really a fan of that. I like changes, you know, so it doesn't look super open and boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, what should I do? I'm going to put a wall right in here, that kind of like a divider. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take both these, duplicate it, rotate it 90 degrees, and just place it like that, sticking through this wall. Perfectly fine. Duplicate it again, rotate it 180, drag it on a plane, like so. Don't have to have it perfectly aligned. We're about to fix that in just a second. I'm going to duplicate this, Control F. I'm going to go with corner out. So that way we get this type of corner. Alright, I'm going to duplicate it, and notice the yellow point of axis is right here. It's going to rotate around that always. Sometimes that's handy, sometimes it's not if we're doing something like that. Now we can take these and drag it over and align it. It's important to note or pay attention that you don't have something like this going on, because then it just looks really bad. Get this clipping going on here. Just make sure you snap it right. And remember the snap to render window properties and movement. I'm using a snap to grade of 8. I think it's the perfect amount. So now we have this wall here. So maybe this is like some sort of waiting room, or I don't know. I'll figure it out. I want to add something right here. Let's say a window. So it's Control F. Selected it already. Control F and go to Window 01. Okay. Not bad. Looks good. Control D. Flip it around. Make sure you're on the right axis so it lines up properly. You want to get in here and make sure it lined up right. It's not off at all or anything. Pretty good. So basically you're just going to go whatever your imagination takes you, really. For example, I'm going to turn a hard left, or a hard corner, I guess. Go like that. I take this wall, duplicate it, move it over here. Line it. Move this like so. Duplicate both of those again, move it over. Take this corner piece that we had before in both these, drag it over. Now we have this little hallway going on. It's yeah, let's put a window over here. Control F to replace. Window replacement. We're going to have it on both sides, so that makes sense. Let's see here. Now this isn't aligning. So, boom. There, that looks right. Take the door. Up. That looks pretty good. So now we're leaving the main entrance area. We're moving on over here. Trying to think about what I want to do. You got to keep in mind what this place is exactly to you and what it needs to represent. It needs to convince the player that this is what it is. Good. I'm just going to go with this room here. So make sure it doesn't stick out on this side. Just a hard cut right there. Do it again right here. I kind of want a length of like this size right here. That's pretty good. Same thing over here. So now we have this room right here. Maybe it's some office, some little office of some kind. All right, and then what do I want to do? Let's take this corner as well as this piece here. Well, actually no. Let's take this piece right here and this piece. We get this quick turnaround. What I want to add right now is stairs. I'm going to put stairs that go up here. But I kind of don't want to use this style. Let's actually remove it. There's a lot of back and forth thinking involved. So now we have the end of the hallway here. And we're not going to take this piece and slide it over here. Instead, for some good looking stairs, we're going to go back to hit. We're going to type in just hit. Sort. We're going to go hit SM Hall. I would like to put an end cap small door on the right, I believe. No, I want on the left. And this will line up just perfectly. Follows the same grid, the same kind of door. So now we have a different style of architecture that's still, within the same kind of idea as the original. You don't want to like mix and match stuff, otherwise it can get looking weird and it's like, what is this? Unless of course your mod relies on that. Next we're just going to go one way. Let's go over this info right here. So we have, when it comes to halls, typically you have one ways, two ways, and three ways. One way is just straight. Straight hall, nothing special about it. This is important that these don't mess up and go like that. Two ways are a corner, because when you work with halls, it has both sides. You know how this side is only one? It doesn't include both sides of this. So a two-way would have a corner, like that. And it would just attach to here. I'm not doing that though. Three-way would be a straight with one extra entrance, or divider, I guess. So I would go like this, as well as this way, too. And then four-way is just four corners. We're going to work with stairs. Stairs are nice because they come with the floor and ceiling. You notice how we don't have any floor here. The player can't actually walk here. So we're just going to go with one-way stairs. Take that. Make sure it lines up. How I do this is making this line up with this line. So that to be the easiest way to work with that. And this only, each one of these only goes up one level. So I need two of them so that it can go up a solid level above the other floor. I mess something up here. I'm going to bring it up, get a fiddle with it. That looks pretty good. Alright. Solid set of stairs. Now let's get this kind of piece up here, but instead of on the right, we're going to have it on the left. Or no, I guess I had it on the left. Now we're going to put it on the right. Whatever. Like that. Rotate it around so it makes sense. And that looks pretty good. But now let's work with the floor. All I have to do is have type in hit floor. You can have a lot of options here. There's stand-away floors, there's edge rails, different kinds of stairs. Now, if you recall in the basics, I used solid full 01. That's a pretty good floor, but the problem is it's not necessary for what we're doing just yet. Notice how it's on both sides. There's no reason for it to have this bottom side when the player can't get underneath the floor. This type of block is used for the second floor. It would go like right here, for example. So we're just going to do solid bottom 01. And this is going to be invisible on this side. It gives the game engine less to have to render, making it easier on the users or the player's hardware. And you just got to line it up with like a door. Just like that. Move it over. I'm going to move it over to this corner. Duplicate it. Move it over, duplicate it, move it over. And it makes sense. I like it. Select 3 of them, duplicate it, move it over, but on the other axis. Boom, boom, and boom. We have a floor here for these 2 rooms, I guess. Now let's drag along the hall. Optionally, actually, let's select more. Select these 9. Move them over. Make sure they line up. And you always want to delete what you don't need. Again, it's easier on the hardware. Alright, so it looks pretty good. Alright, let's move this over here. Now notice, you want to make sure it's not visible here, but notice how we're having interference with the stairs. We have overlapping textures, creating this effect. You don't want that at all because that's visible in game and it looks bad. So just move it over. Okay. You'll notice that the stair lines don't meet up with these lines. That's normal. Looks pretty good. Next, duplicate it, bring it up here. Wow, did I call that perfectly? Wow, alright. Let's move that out of the way. Alright, so now we have our floors, but now we need to work on ceiling. Alright, for these, we're going to go duplicate them, and then Control F. Now we're going to select solid top 01. this will automatically put it in the perfect spot exactly where you want it. So hit OK. See? Lines up with the support beams just perfectly. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. We have our bottom floor basic layout set up. And you can always add on to it. Like, for example, I have this window here, but there's no door leading to it. And this is the door that our players are going to come from. They're going to load into the cell right here. So, I have this window here, but no door. We can either add a door here or make it off limits to the player entirely, or make it accessible later on through, you know, some other method of getting around. But for right here, I want to put a supply closet just because. So we're going to select that. I already hit replace. Exit small 01. I'm going to take this wall, can move it like so. Duplicate this wall, the door, so we have our meetup right here, so there's no gaps. Duplicate, move, duplicate, rotate. I mean, since we're just doing a little supply closet, then that's it. Move it over. Line it up with the other. Boom, boom. Now we have this piece here. Originally we weren't intending on it having a bottom piece, so let me just drag this over. Make sure it lines up with everything. Like so. Alright. Not bad. And we have to work with our ceiling. Get that in just a second. Since this is going to be a second floor, we're going to be using the full body version. So that this side has a ceiling to look at, and this side has the floor to look at. And duplicate that everywhere. Well, actually, let's not. We don't entirely know if our second floor is going to reach this entire area. Maybe it's only one spot. Maybe it's just nothing really. Exploration, basically. And the real spot you want to go is in here, maybe. It's all stuff you think about as you're making it. It's not really important to have it really planned out, like with concept drawings or anything. Just not necessary. So we're just going to keep on randomly going. So we're going to duplicate this, bring it up, so that it meets, make sure it meets with the grid on this piece. Second floor, what do we want the second floor to be? I'm thinking maybe like a cafeteria-like area. So we're gonna have cafeteria, maybe some bathrooms, you know, general people stuff. So let's duplicate these two, bring them up. Actually, delete one. Bring up the corner, duplicate the corner, bring it over. Bring it over again. Alright, I'm going to select that like so. All these pieces, line them up. Looking good. Alright, so I'm thinking these can be bathrooms. Oops. I accidentally selected same base object. Right, exit small. Duplicate these two, so we have something that makes sense. Easy stuff. Can make little bathroom areas. Well, we'll extend the bathroom out that way and that way. We need to think about how it works. We have stalls right here and a walkway with sinks right here. And make sure these cross each other. We don't need this extra piece. Duplicating these walls, bringing it over. Makes sense, nice and easy. So we get like a male bathroom and female bathroom and easy stuff. And now I think we're ready to add a floor. So we're going to just straight up use full-bodied ones. Do it again, bring it over. Make sure they line up here. And over again. It's looking pretty good. Alright, let's go ahead and add some ceiling. So let's just select all this. You don't want to drag or else you're going to select all this stuff and all the objects underneath it. I'm going to duplicate it all and Control F and just select Top O1A. And ta-da! On to this part here. This area doesn't have a ceiling because I haven't needed it until now. Duplicate and Top O1. I'm going to make sure this lines up with this wall here. And it doesn't. Notice the overlapping textures. So let's drag this. Hold plane button that you desire. You'll really get the hang of it as you make stuff. You'll know which way you want it to go. Looks like we have one complete level, so to speak, but not entirely. I'm trying to think. Maybe here. Control F on this piece right here. Just want to look at our options here. Yeah, let's go hold damaged. It's interesting looking. It's not entirely what I'm looking for. I'd like to see straight up the level here. Control Z, never mind on that. So we have our basic level. Problem is, I want to add something more to it. trying to determine how I want to go about it. So notice up here, the player goes up here and then it ends. There's nothing, there's no area to go to next. So I'm thinking right over here, we would put our wall. Because you can't have a door on one of these curved corners, so we just made a hard corner. Now we're going to replace this with a door, so that it can continue on, get to the next area. Which in this case, I want to go... let's go with... yeah, let's do a hall. Hit small hall. Sort, so everything's in order. Let's go with end cap, exit small. It's just like a one-way with a door at one end of it. Line it up. Sure makes sense. Looks good. One-way again. All right. Let's add this wall here. I'm gonna select this and make it a bottom only. Oops. Bottom 01, Control D, Control F, top 01. It's important to do this. You want to have the invisible sides, because if you just have a bunch of these blocks, then you're gonna, oops, you'll get a lot of, what is that? Ah, God, stuttering when you're in the game. I mean, not right now. We're about to test it, but, you know. So here's what I'm thinking. This hall, this building, this level, it isn't completed and it's underground, let's say. And I want to have it turn into dirt, turn a corner, and then it'll load into the next interior. So we're gonna go one more just so that there's some space in there between the door and here. We're gonna do, okay, yeah, I like that. I'm just thinking out loud to I'm thinking right now to myself. We're gonna type in cave into here. Select, I mean, sort your stuff. Go cave hall 1 way. Move it over. Rotate it. You want to have these lines visible. Press M if they are not visible. This is really handy so that you can line them up. See, there's a reason why it's like this. So you can align easier. Because without it, like, what are you even looking at, really? So, that was just demonstration purposes. Let's go with... Alright, yeah. I'm gonna replace this with a end cap, exit small, like so. Then I'm gonna take this piece because it's large, has a much larger wall area around the door. This is a little, there we go. Then I'm gonna take this piece, bring it up a little bit, make sure it goes around and encompasses this door, just because you don't want the void visible. That's pretty good. Take this, Control D for duplicating, then replace. There's a lot of duplication to replace, it's just nice and easy. by default, it'll choose the next one, O1 floor. Just hit OK. It'll automatically put the floor exactly where it needs to be. So notice how there's this big gap. You can lower it. Now we have this texture sticking out. Move it over. Looking good. And doors entirely encompassed in the... Yep, perfectly. And it doesn't... Or, well, actually, if you notice here, we have it sticking out a little bit. So let's drag it out one more. Gotta really watch out for that stuff. It'll be noticeable in-game. Not so noticeable here. That looks pretty good. Duplicate this, Control F. Make it a two-way. Again, all halls do this. Really easy format. Control D, Control F to create the floor, and I'll automatically put it right where it needs to be, and it'll match up with this floor. And then let's go rotate that around, line up the green markers and the blue markers. Green is the wall, blue is the floor. And then just so we can cut off the void from the player's line of sight, we are going to block it off right here. I'll show you what I mean by that in just a moment. Now let's work with doors. My God, where am I? I'm lost. Okay, so bottom floor. Let's type in hit. Now this is where we get a ton of this stuff showing up. We can just go down to world objects and just click on door. Now only doors will show up. They have their own form type. So you know, all this time we've been working with stat, which means static. Whereas here we have door. Right? And just so it's easier, I just click door when I'm working with doors. Because I'm also going to be changing this in a minute. So for this is where our player enters this level. So we need a load door. And we want a small one because this is a small sized door. If you want to just double click to bring up the property window. We'll get into that at another video, more into what that does. But it's not really necessary for this tutorial right here. So smaller one load. You need to make sure it looks right. Until it looks right because it's got the second level of silver. Look good. You want a load door because it means it's going to be loading opposed to just opening like this door would. So over here we're going to do small O1. Pretty nice and easy. Notice we have this window here open to the void. Let's see about that. Wondering if I should just get rid of it entirely. Definitely thinking about it. Well, we have our window over here already anyway. Yeah, let's just quickly add small addition, but with no door leading to it. So we'll put a door right here. Makes it small. Right. Add the floor to it real quick. Control F. Or Control D and then Control F. Top of one. I accidentally didn't duplicate it, so I just straight up placed what I had before. Right, so now we have a little whatever. This is going to be a load 2. Since there's no direct way to get there. Let's put a normal door here. Another normal door right here. So the bathroom doors. Need a couple more doors right here. It's too far in. Need to be right there. Duplicate, move it. Looking good. Are all doors accounted for now yet? Make sure these are not load doors. Load doors don't actually open. It's important not to mess that up. Rotate 90 degrees. Align the door properly. And from here we can either allow the player to see exactly what's coming next, which is the cave wall. But I kind of want to block it off so that when they open the door they'll be like, oh, sudden cave. So that's all the doors. That's looking good. We now have everything cut off from showing the void. Let's save. I should have mentioned we should be saving every few minutes. Alright, so we have our basic level here, but we still have this area. So with the door still selected as the category we want, type in auto, and we're going to go auto load door no text. That brings up this mess. If you don't have markers on, it'll look like you didn't drop anything there at all. So press M to make sure you have it enabled. Let me tell you what you're looking at here. So ignore this icon, doesn't really matter. The red means once the player walks into this red field, boom, they're going to be loaded into the next area. Well, I mean, there's going to be a loading screen. Next up is the green area. This is what would, when the player walks into the green area, it tells the player where they're going next. It'll say bathroom or whatever, I don't know, under construction room. But we have selected no text, so it won't give the player any warning. It'll just go when they walk into the red field. And this encompasses the entire hallway. The player can't get over here. It's nice and easy that way. So there you have it. We have created this, and now let's test it out in game. Let's take a look at it. To do this, we first have to go down to where we want the player to spawn, which is right here at this load door. In the field over here, let's switch the category to all. In auto, we'll go COC marker, one word. And boom. Nice and easy, it'll be a blue marker. Oh wait, or yes, this is the right spot, never mind. And save your work. Now let's open it up in game. Alright, so we are here. I'm watching these settlers attack this Deathclaw. Anyways, let's go check out our new cell. So we're going to hit the tilde button, top left of the keyboard, type in COC space, the name of your cell, the editor ID. So mine was Mason cell int, meaning interior, 2. And then press enter, and it will load. If it doesn't, then you typed it in wrong, blah, blah, blah. It'll automatically be taken directly into right where you put the COC marker. So let's take a look around. So we have this here, looking pretty decent. Make sure we don't have any textures that are overlapping, nothing like that. An example of loading doors. This isn't connected, so it's only going to partially open. It's a load door opposed to a fully opening door. Go around, yeah. It's looking pretty good. I imagine I'll see something I messed up, but typically I'm missing like a piece of ceiling or something. So far, so good. Looking pretty good. A little bit of bathrooms in here. And over here. So we don't see anything weird going on. Looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks fine. You can go down over here if you want. Don't go into where we put the auto load door. Since it's not actually connected to anything, you'll be sent into an endless loading screen. It'll never load because there's nothing to load. But yeah, that's our interior. That's what we made. It looks good. So the next episode, or not episode, I don't know. The next part 3 will be adding objects throughout the building. Not detailing yet, but just adding the bigger stuff. So then we'll do some detailing in the next one after that. After that we'll do extra detailing, so it looks like an actual Bethesda mod. Or not Bethesda interior style type of deal. And then, let's say after that we'll probably do some nav meshing. That's always fun. First it would seem tedious and annoying, but I actually enjoy it. And then we'll add further markers to better integrate this into the world. And yeah, I'll see you guys there. Click below to subscribe, and click to your left to see more Fallout. Yeah. There's other mods and shit. There's a Facebook too for Neher mods. Check out the description below, I guess. And